If the market does shift the way that it says it's going to shift, there is a potential to potentially make fewer sales this year, which means your income could go down.
How does a market shift affect realtors exactly?
First of all, mentally, we hear the doom and gloom. It affects our own psyches. It affects our own emotions. I didn't make as many sales, so now my mind starts to go into a dark place, and I'm not getting as many calls, so my mind starts going to a dark place. There's probably going to be clients that you're going to lose this year that have a different expectation than what is the reality, and it's just something that you're going to have to be prepared for.
How the market shift will impact clients. Do you need to manage your clients' expectations a bit more? What kind of expectations should you set when working with buyers, sellers? To finalize the interview, one tangible action realtors can take right now to best prepare for the market shift. This is exactly how you can win in a real estate market shift. I'm here with Scott Ziegler. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So let's dive right into it. First of all, how does a market shift affect realtors exactly?
Well, I think in a couple of ways. I mean, first of all, mentally, we hear the doom and gloom. It affects our own psyches. It affects our own emotions. And I think that we have to be very careful to keep our head clear. And I think obviously, financially, if the market does shift the way that it says it's going to shift, there is a potential to potentially make fewer sales this year, which means your income could go down. So the market shift affects us like it affects kind of everybody else. There's a lot of uncertainty out there that we just need to prepare for.
So how would you go about preparing if you're a realtor and we're about to experience a market shift? How can a realtor prepare for this?
Well, I think a couple of ways. I think you need to have your systems in place and your schedule in place. You have to figure out what you're going to do to get business and then commit to doing it. I think another thing that maybe is often overlooked is joining a team or getting a couple of other agents together and saying, let's work together through this market shift. If it means, knocking on more doors and making more cold calls or whatever that might look like, it's always funner to do it with somebody else. And it's always, better to have somebody else to keep you accountable and to help push you in that direction. So I think it's a real underutilized part of our business is joining teams and teaming up with people. So I think that agents really just need to commit, and potentially is maybe as hokey as this sound is figure out what your why is. And I'll give you an example. My why in business is living up to my potential. Right in front of me, as we record this interview, I have a list of goals that I want to achieve this year. I have a blueprint how to achieve those goals. And so if I truly want to live up to my potential, I'm going to have to work harder in 2023 than I have in the years past to live up to my potential and hit my goals.
100%. So first, be clear on your why, set goals, and then more importantly, reverse engineer what actions or blueprint, like you called it, you need to have, or the actions you need to take to make sure that you are able to reach that goal in the time frame you set for yourself. And then you also mentioned, teaming up with other agents, whether it be like joining a team or partnering up with other realtors just to go through this market shift, because in harder times, it could be helpful to have some mental support that way. Now, what mindset do you need as a realtor to keep pushing while going through this market shift? Because obviously it could be like a harder time for a lot of realtors. So do you have any advice for just mindset wise?
I think that you have to pair your mindset with your tasks. It is easy to not do what you need to do on a monthly, time frame in your business, and then look back and say, well, I didn't make as many sales. So now my mind starts to go into a dark place and I'm not getting as many calls. So my mind starts going to a dark place. But if you day in and day out, do the tasks that are set before you, it's kind of like that analogy. If you build it, they will come. If you make your calls, the business will come. If you knock on the doors, the business will come. If you post on social media, engage in the DMs, the business will come. And I oftentimes frame it this way. Think of your business as buckets. Maybe you want to get 5 from social media, 5 from past clients, 5 from your sphere of influence, 5 from expired listings. You only need to get 5 for sale by owners. You've just done 35 deals this year or next year. And all you had to do is get 5 or 4 or 3 deals in separate buckets. And if you compartmentalize your business that way, continue to do your tasks, you'll find that you won't have time to start to spiral down into, negative emotions, because quite frankly, you're probably going to do okay if you do the tasks that are before you.
Yeah, I agree. So one thing I like to focus on is the input instead of focusing on the output. So I think where things start to fall off is whenever you put your mind and you focus too much on the output. I want to make 200K in GCI next year. I want to make whatever X amount of production or in sales. Instead of focusing on, to reach this, I need to make 10 calls a day, right? If you focus on just, I want to make 10 calls a day, and you make this a habit and you're consistent, automatically you should be able to get the outcome you're looking for.
Right.
So I think, I couldn't agree more with this. Now, how the market shift will impact clients. Do you need to manage your clients' expectations a bit more? What kind of expectations should you set when working with buyers, sellers, or does this not have an impact at all?
Definitely is going to have an impact. And I think that, we have to realize that our clients that have to buy and have to sell through this market shift are going to be impacted. And this isn't an emotional transaction, no matter how you slice it. I don't care what the market is. It's an emotional transaction for people. And I think you're absolutely right. I think you have to set an expectation right from day one. And I think it's got to be data driven. So if you're taking a listing and potentially a seller is pushing you to take it over price and you still choose to take it, I think you just need to be clear on the data with people, what the price expectation is and where we are, what the days on market looks like for certain listings, and then just continue to refer back to the data. And then secondly, I think you're right. As we communicate to our clients, whether that's weekly or bi-weekly or however we do that, whether we produce a report, whether it's just a text message, I think you need to communicate to your clients up front how you'll be communicating to them, what will be in that communication, and then what their part to play in it is well. Do they have any questions? You're just going to have to continue to manage those clients. And there's probably going to be clients that you're going to lose this year that have a different expectation than what is the reality. And it's just something that you're going to have to be prepared for.
Agreed. To finalize the interview, one tangible action realtors can take right now to best prepare for the market shift.
I think that one tangible action is to make sure that they understand what it's going to take to get business this next year, what areas they typically get their business from. You look at past performance and say, well, I typically get 50% of my business from referrals or past clients, then leverage into that. I know myself, I get a lot of business from for sale by owners. And the last couple of years, I haven't had to leverage that as much as I normally do. Well, I'm going back to going all in on it this year. Same with expired listings and social media. So whatever area that they're most comfortable with, I think they need to double, triple, and 10x that activity and say, hey, I know I'm really good at working with my past clients. I'm going to go all in on nurturing my past clients. I know I'm really good at cold calling. I'm just going to go all in on cold calling and then sprinkle in and layer in those other avenues, but figure out what you're good at, because every agent it's a little bit different. You have that one area that you are extremely competent in and just go after it.
Awesome. So hone in on what you're already good at and just scale it as much as possible. Awesome, guys. So this was how to win the real estate market shift with Scott Ziegler. You can find him online on social media, YouTube, Instagram. And if you want to reach out, you can directly send him a message.